Welcome back to Koine Corner. This week we're talking about epexegetical infinitives. Let's take a look. Epexegetical infinitives are an infinitive that clarifies, qualifies, or explains a noun, a pronoun, or an adjective when the adjective is standing in for something or someone. It's used with specific kinds of words. The word being modified will convey an idea like freedom or authority or power or opportunity, desire, hope, that sort of a thing. Okay, before we look at it in the New Testament, we're going to start out with an English example. They've been making James Bond movies since before I was born, and that was a while ago, right? So what do we know about James Bond? We know he's a British spy who works for MI6, and most famously, we know that James Bond 007 has a license. So he's not just a spy, he's a special spy because he has a license. What kind of a license? Does he have a license to do residential and commercial plumbing? Does he have a license to drive? Probably. I see him drive a lot. Does he have a license to fish? Maybe. Does he have a license to practice nursing? Not that I'm aware of. Wait a minute. The one thing that we know about him that's repeated throughout most of the movies is that James Bond has a license to kill. So for our epexegetical infinitive, the noun, the head noun, license, is being modified by the infinitive to kill. So I gave examples that were not applicable to James Bond, but they were all infinitives as well. To plumb, to drive, to fish, to nurse. So that's what makes up the epexegetical infinitive. A head noun like license, which is similar to authority, right? One of those words that we used in the examples. The head noun license being modified by the infinitive, whether it be to plumb, to drive, to fish, to nurse, or to kill. All those infinitives modify the noun. So let's dig into some New Testament examples, the first of which is Judas, after he has had his conversation with the chief priests and the temple leaders. And we're looking at Luke chapter 22, verse 6. This is from the ESV. So he consented and sought an opportunity to betray him to them in the absence of a crowd. So right beneath, I've put some of the Greek words that are relevant here. So ezete, he was seeking in the imperfect tense. He was seeking what? Eukairion. Eukairion is an occasion or an opportunity. That's our head noun. And what kind of an occasion? To paradunai, so this is our epexegetical infinitive. To betray, literally from paradidomai, to hand over. To hand what over? Auton, him. So our head noun, eukairion, occasion or opportunity, our epexegetical infinitive, to paradunai, to hand over. There we have the explanation of what kind of an occasion he was seeking. Let's move on to 1 Corinthians 7, verse 39. This is Paul talking about marriage and widows. A wife is bound to her husband as long as he lives, but if her husband dies, she is free to be married to whom she wishes, only in the Lord. So let's look at the phrase, she is free to be married to whom she wishes. Eleuthera, free, estin, she is. She is free. Then let's jump to the last word in the phrase, gamethenai. This is an aorist passive infinitive. So it's not something she's doing, something that's being done to her. She is free to be married. And then we get the two little words in the middle, ho, to whom, thele, she wishes. She is free to be married to whom she wishes. So our head noun, eleuthera, and our epexegetical infinitive, gamethenai, to be married. So what does he say? He says, if her husband dies, she's free If it ended there, it would open up the doors to all sorts of things, right? But he qualifies that freedom. It's not free in all and every aspect. It's free to be married to whom she desires, to whom she wishes. Let's move on and go to 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2, and this is about teaching. And what you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. So our phrase in question is, who will be able to teach others also? So here it is, hoitenes hikanoi esontai. So those three words together, hoitenes, who, hikanoi, able ones, esontai, shall be. They shall be able. Okay, so who shall be able, then the second half of the phrase, kai heterus didaxai. So kai also, heterus, others, didaxai, to teach. So take the stuff that you got from me and communicate it to others who shall be able. Able in what regard? To do push-ups? To deadlift? No. To accurately navigate the oceans? No. To teach. Able to teach, didaxai, which is our epexegetical infinitive, and to teach whom? Others. So there we have able, hikanoi, is our head noun here, or in this case it's an adjective, right? Able to teach others, able, yes, able to teach others. There we go. That was a little mucky, wasn't it? We'll do one more and we're going to do it quickly. Here we go. James chapter 1, verse 19. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. Takus, quick. Eisto akusai, to hear. And then we get another adjective, brados, slow. Eisto lalesai, to speak. So we have two adjectives being modified, takus and brados, quick and slow. And then we have two epexegetical infinitives, quick to hear and slow to speak. Judge Judy likes to say, you have two ears and one mouth for a reason. Right? Do more listening than speaking. So epexegetical infinitives, what we've looked at this week, they're an infinitive that modifies a noun or a pronoun or an adjective, and it modifies it how? By either explaining it, clarifying it, qualifying it, fleshing it out so that we have some sense of sort of limits on it. You have a license to do not everything and anything, but to fish or to drive, etc., right? She can be married. She's not free because of the death of her husband in all regards, but she is free to remarry. Okay. We use these things all the time in English. People use them around us all the time, and there's a weird phenomenon. I've heard it referred to as the Volkswagen Beetle phenomenon, but I'm going to talk about my son Justin for a moment. A few years ago, I traded in one vehicle and got another. The new vehicle was a four-door Jeep Wrangler. And after I got it, my son Justin said, I never noticed before, but now that you have one, I see those everywhere. Well, that's what's going to happen to you in the next few days with epexegetical infinitives. You'll catch yourself using them, and you're going to hear other people using them a lot because they're a pretty common part of speech in English as well as in Greek. And they are one more little piece of evidence that grammar is great. So keep your ears open, be quick to listen, and maybe be slow to speak. I'll leave that up to you. But I'm sure you're going to catch epexegetical infinitives all around this week. And while you're listening to that, please like, share, subscribe, let other people know you're enjoying the channel. And until next time, Charis Kairene Humin, grace and peace to you.